Hey guys, Shauna here with Homegrown Self Reliance. So today is the Self Reliant Skill of the Week, where I learn a new skill every week for the whole year of 2021. I hope you'll follow along and join me. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. I appreciate you being here. So today we're making homemade ketchup. So this is something that I've never done before, so let's learn together. I found a recipe for homemade ketchup from Free Range Life. So thank you, Sarah, for the recipe. I think it's going to turn out really good. What we need is 5 pounds of tomatoes. And they need to be cored and seeded as much as possible. These are Roma tomatoes, so they don't have a big core or a lot of seeds in them. So it should cut down on the work. Also need 1 onion cut up, 3 or 4 garlic cloves, which I'm also going to cut up. And we need salt, pepper, cinnamon, celery seed, cloves, paprika, and white vinegar. So this recipe with the 5 pounds of tomatoes makes about 2 pint jars or 4 half-pint jars. And we're going to water bath can them at the end of this video. So right now, just gonna rough chop my garlic real quick here. See if I can put this to where you can see it a little better. Alright, so these are actually Roma tomatoes that I grew in my garden last year. I've just had them in the freezer. You just want to take out some of the seeds. As you can see, they don't have a whole lot of seeds in them and not much of a core, but what little they do have, you want to try to take them out a little bit. I've got my kitchen scale here with a big old pot on it. I've zeroed it out so that I know how much I'm putting in here. So we'll just put these in there. So I just kind of cut off the end, cut them in half. That small core out of there. It doesn't really want to come out. So also with Roma tomatoes, any kind of paste tomatoes really, San Marzanos are good. They have less water in them and more meat. So that's really preferable when you're doing sauces. So I've never really done homemade tomato sauce. I grow tomatoes every year, but we usually end up just using them fresh. So surprisingly enough, I haven't even done spaghetti sauce. that's going to be a skill I learned this week too, or this year too. So as I'm going, I'm also cutting them down just a little bit more. It'll make them easier to puree and everything, or to cook down. So once I've got my 5 pounds of tomatoes cored and de-seeded, I'm gonna put them in a pot with the onions and the garlic. And then they need to simmer down for about an hour. So I'm obviously not gonna make you watch that whole part, so I'll be back in a bit. I'm back. So I simmered this down for about an hour, and now I'm going to put it into my Ninja blender to puree it all together.
Hey, Mama. Mama. Hey, do you want?
Hold on, sweetheart.
Open.
Sorry, I got my granddaughter in the back.
Yeah.
Alright, so you can use pretty much any high-speed blender. This is just the best one I have. So
Peace.
that's what I'm going to use.
What do you want? What do you?
Sorry, it's going to be loud. Do that a little bit more. Actually, I think that looks all right for the first blend. We're actually going to end up doing two blends of all of it. But first, I need a bowl. All right, so just going to pour this into our bowl. Just because my pot's got stuff in it already. So we're just gonna repeat this process. Don't really have a big enough one to do the whole batch, but that's okay. Let's do it in a couple mini batches. You get the idea. Alright, so I got all of my tomatoes and garlic and onions pureed. My Ninja started leaking there towards the end. I swear, you guys, if at least one thing does not go wrong on one of my projects, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I always have little issues going on with them. I guess that's part of learning new stuff, right? So I'm gonna pour this back into my pot. And then we're gonna add our spices and other stuff. Okay, so what we need is 3/4 of a cup of white vinegar. Again, this is a recipe from the Free Range Life. I will link to her post in the description below. Gotta give credit where it's due, right? One, two, and there's 3. And then we need
Mama.
sugar. I forgot to get that. 1 second. Okay. So then we need 1/3 of a cup to a 1/2 a cup of sugar. I'm using closer to a 1/2 a cup. Then we need 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt. I literally just ran out of salt, so using some kosher salt should be fine. And then 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Seems a little odd, but I'll go with it. 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. A 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. Also another interesting addition, but I'll trust you, Sarah. And then 1/4 teaspoon of celery seed. This is like the only thing that I didn't have in my house to make this. So I had to go to the store only to get the celery seed. That's always good for me. And then a dash of black pepper. Do a little more, just for good measure. Make sure that's all.
Are you hungry?
Yep, looks correct. So then I'm just gonna put it on to simmer again. This time it's gonna simmer for about 3 hours because it needs to reduce and turn this more into a ketchup consistency rather than this tomato sauce. So I'll be back in a bit. All right, so I simmered this down for about 3 hours, and now we're going to blend it again. So as you can see, the consistency is pretty good. And it smells wonderful. It almost smells like sloppy joes. So I think my Ninja, I think the seal is getting too old. So let's kind of been making a mess, so hopefully I don't make a mess everywhere. We have a paper towel here to help. Lucky me, it didn't make too much of a mess. So there is our ketchup. So I've got my canning funnel here. Pour some of this in each jar. Filled it too full. So I was gonna can this on video, but I've got to get my video up, so sorry, but I'm not going to be doing that right now. But super easy to can it. Use a water bath canner. Put your jars in, and as soon as the water starts boiling, you start the timer, and you can it for 15 minutes. I'm making something, baby. Go see Grandpa. So I'm actually going to have a lot more than what I thought. It was supposed to make 4 half-pint jars or 2 1-pint jars. Already got 2 half-pints filled up. And I've still got another blender full, plus what's in here still. So, one thing I should mention, when you fill up your jars, before you can them, put that lid on too fast. You want to wipe the rim. And leave just a little bit of headspace in the jar. That's probably about good right there. And then put your lids on. So, got this pint jar about half full, and got another blender's worth in here, so it might make just a little more than what the recipe said, so I'm kind of happy about that. Anyways, So I am probably still gonna can this, or I might just put it in the freezer. Haven't really decided, but I've got a lot of stuff to do today, so I'm gonna sign off for now, and I will see you next week. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.